Wow, guys, this has been like incredible. Just trying to make a video here. Um, One word of warning: if you have a Samsung S21, didn't bother trying to make a fucking video with it on a warm day. They're fucking terrible. They're really shit. It just overheats within literally less than 4 friggin' minutes of trying to make the video before. So Samsung, you need to get your fucking fingers. You can get that sorted, because if your S22s are out there out as bad as that, I'll never be buying from you again, because that is just absolutely shit. I bought the damn thing for to use as a friggin' high-end video thingy for doing me videos with, and that's just terrible. It literally friggin' overheats within a short space of time. I'm having to use a different phone again now. I'm back to me I think it's S10 Plus. I think that's what I'm busy on at the minute. Might be friggin' SES for all I know. But yeah, guys. Anyway, look, I was trying to make a video on what it's like to be somebody that's socially inept, even though you want to be socially acceptable and socially friggin' fine to be socially inept, and it's proven to be nigh on really possible. Yeah. So let's hope this time I can get something out, because it's not exactly an easy thing to try and talk about either. It's extremely hard to talk about this type of thing, because I don't think a lot of people believe in it. I mean, a lot of people don't believe that you can be socially inept. And what you got to understand is, I've been like this since I was a young age. When I was younger, it was just classified as you were on a loner. Yeah, that's what you're classified as. You're classified as you were just a loner. Yeah, you just spent most of your time alone doing things on your own. Not socially interacting with a lot of people, because you just couldn't. You were a loner. That's how it is, and that's how it still is for me. I still spend most of my time on my own, doing things on my own. I play games on my own. Yeah, I want to be able to have friends and go out and do things, but I can't do things in big groups of people, because I'm too shy. I'm too thingy. It's took us a long time to get to a point of being able to think. I do videos like this literally in order to try and bring myself out of my shell a little bit, and to get some form of a social interaction at all, because otherwise I just wouldn't have any whatsoever. I'm at work, and I will have the odd person speak to us, but it's usually about work, because I know what I'm doing in my job. So therefore, I get asked a question about it, I can talk about it, I can tell them about it. When people start going on about what they've watched on TV, and did you see the last episode of The Boys, and what do you think of this bit? I'll have watched probably the episode, but I do not fucking recall it. I just don't have the ability to recall a lot of stuff, unless it's a major type scene, a big type scene that meant something. I mean, yeah, if there's some sort of huge scene, but even then I won't have the memory recollection of it that other people will have. I'll just remember that it happened, but I won't have a running memory of exactly what happened, exactly how it happened, or anything else. I just think so. Therefore, I can't socially interact on that type of level. Most people will tell you what happened in the news and stuff. I don't watch the news. I've never watched the news. I've never watched the news in fucking years, because it's just full of bullshit all the time. It's full of the crappy shit in life. I don't care. I don't want to know about it. I'd rather live in my little bubble where things are a lot better in most respects. That's just the way I am. That's probably one of the reasons why I'm thinking of that. I vibrate on a certain fucking level, and a lot of people do not vibrate on that level. Therefore, they can't stay within my frequency or within the area of me for long periods of time, because I vibrate on a different level to them. That's just the way it goes for me. I look at the things that, for those and you can obviously see behind us here, they're all around us at the minute. I'm in the man cave, and that I collect 6 figures. I am a member of a few different things in the different communities on Facebook and that, but I do not get heavily involved with them for the gain, because I'm socially inept. And that when they might sort of talk, well, what do you think of this MMS number, such and such thing? And I'll be like, I fucking clue what you're talking about. There's no point in mentioning an MMS number to me. I'm going to fucking clue what MMS numbers fucking things are. You know, you could even tell us like a certain Iron Man, you know, or a certain Captain America from a certain thing. I'm not going to know which friggin' suit that is because there's so many friggin' different suits. You know what I mean? There's only certain suits that I will remember, you know, from different things because they're a standout style thingy to it, you know. So, but it's of all these different friggin' mark numbers for the Iron Man. No, I'm not going to know which one's fucking which, you know. I'm just not even going to be able to tell you. Could stand up a bottle in front and say, well, what mark number is this and what mark number is that one. And a lot of the six-skill community that's into that type of thing will know exactly what marks they are and what movies they're from. I wouldn't have a fucking clue. Therefore, I would just be like, I keep my mouth shut because what's the point in fucking opening my mouth when I haven't got a clue what I would be talking about. I would just, you know what I mean? A lot of times because of me social ineptitude, I can seem distant and I can seem thick or I can seem like I'm just unapproachable and shit like that. And at the end of the day, I'm not any of those things. Okay, I'm like a social caterpillar. Stay in my little cocoon, stay out of the fucking way, do my own thing. This for me is my way of trying to come out of myself and stop being so shy and start trying to, or do my utmost to bring myself out of myself and interact in some sort of way, even though I'm not interacting with anybody. I'm just literally talking to the camera. But I do have the odd person that will sort of messages, and I will always message back, and that's my social interaction. That's as far as it goes for me. I love watching a lot of the 1/6 live shows, but I never get to see them live because most of them are American, or they're done on American time because that's when they're going to get the most amount of views. So therefore, even some of the English ones tend to do it on American time scales because it works out easier that way for them because they're going to get more views, or they're going to have some of their American friends be able to join them in their live streams and stuff like that. So therefore, it makes sense to do it that way. So I end up having to watch them on playback later on. So therefore, there's no point in us then trying to interact with anything because they've already gone. They've probably been gone freaking 13, 14 hours. You know, any of the ones that do happen during English time, half of them I can't even freaking watch because I'm gonna probably be at work or I'm at home and my wife's just getting the bath, and so we're gonna watch something together before she goes to bed. Then I'll sit down and I'll put something on and I'll sit and watch it when she's gone to bed. So I do see the occasional one, and when I do, I will sort of make an attempt to interact a little bit. But I tend to find because I'm not there all the time, you know, and you see the same sort of names and I can't say faces because they're not really faces, but you know, when they put the things up on the screen, you'll see the same sort of picture things there all the time, and it's the same names all the time. That's cropping up on everybody's thing, and they've all getting to pretty much know each other in a big way. Therefore, they'll interact with each other. But then when somebody new like myself comes on, they'll look at me as if they're going, "Oh, I wonder who the fuck this guy is," because I've never really seen his name crop up much. So therefore, I tend to go, "Nah, right, well, it's pointless as trying to really interact because nothing's gonna come of it because they don't know it." And so I end up giving up on that. I end up just not bothering to interact. I'm watching the stuff. I'm there in the background. I watch a lot of sort of the guys that I've been following for a long time, and even some of the guys that I've only just recently started following. I follow a lot of that. Thing is, I watch a lot of their live streams, like I say, possibly on playback. You know, and it's sort of, it becomes really, really tough, you know, when you want to interact with people, but you just know you can't. When you do make an attempt to, you feel discouraged by the fact that it's like the community knows each other and they've been interacting with each other for a long time, so that it's come like you have your little clicks. There's the wind blowing, my door open on the blanket. You have your little sort of cliques where they all know each other and they'll all sort of sting with each other and all have a good laugh with each other, but because they don't know you, you're sort of the outsider, which is the way I've always felt. I've always felt like the outsider, like I say, because I've never fit into anybody's realm of things. So when I was at school, I didn't fit in with the jocks because I wasn't a jock, I wasn't athletic, I wasn't thingy, I was just your normal run-of-the-mill kid. I wasn't a SWAT, as we call them in England, you know, which is a geek or whatever you want to call it. And I wasn't one of those because I wasn't academically inclined. In fact, you got to think, like, back when I was younger, there was no such really wording as ADD and ADHD and sort of the autism spectrum and stuff like that. That didn't exist. You know, that didn't exist in my day. That you were just classified. What was the term that they used for me? It was he's a daydreamer. He's always looking out the window and off in a world of his own and doing his own thing and not really getting involved. You know what I mean? In what sort of even makes that harder again is when you spend a lot of your time being picked on and bullied and harassed because you're different to those people that have their little cliques and their little sort of groups. And I didn't fit in with any of them groups. I was always out on my own, just not able to fit in with any of them. Therefore, I was bullied and I was given frigging crap for not fitting in with any of the particular groups. I was literally just all on my own, outcasted almost. And that makes it really sort of difficult because then you go in on yourself and become even shyer than what you were to start with. Therefore, it's like a never-ending circle. It's a never decreasing circle that you just come down and down and down and more in on yourself and more keep yourself to yourself. And then when you do try and thingy, you feel like people are just like judging you as being this sort of like a freak of nature, you know. And when you think, like, as I was growing up, I sort of got into the weightlifting side of things because I could do it on my own. And I got, you know, a fairly decent thingy with it. I spent a long time loving every minute of training. I did enjoy when I trained with another guy. You know what I mean? It was good when I had a training partner, but when there became a few, I started to find it difficult and I started going in on myself again because it's like, no, I don't trust too many people. I trust you, but I'm not sure about you, and I'm not sure about you. I'll get like either gut reactions about them, or I would just be like just timid of becoming too open with too many people and having again going through the same fucking similar process of being taken the piss out of and having people bully or harass or fucking just thingy. So I would always just pull back and go in on myself and just do what needed to be done. I would still have a bit of a laugh with them and a bit of a giggle and shit like that, but I would be more withdrawn, more in on myself, you know. When it was one-on-one, I was a lot easier, a lot more thingy, because I could deal with that and I could try and judge, you know. And I think that's a lot of the reasons why I can't sort of keep friends very easily, is because I won't get in touch with people. Because again, like I've mentioned before on a previous video, that I've seen somebody that was a really good friend of mine, that when they got a phone call off somebody, they would be pulling faces and was going, and kind of, I mean, and then come and say, oh, that was my best mate from up the fucking road, and you'd be like, hang on a minute, is that the type of shit that people are doing? If I'm getting in touch with them, is this the type of people, the way people are? You know, so I don't want to be the person that they're fucking doing this about. I don't want that crap. So therefore, I just don't even bother getting in touch with people at all. You know, I just, if you know, when I worked for Royal Mail, I had a guy that I worked with every day. He was my partner. I worked with him pretty much 4 or 5 days a week. I got on great with him. We would talk to each other, or he would tell me a lot about all sorts. I don't think he realised that I barely spoke too much about my things, but he did know a few things, and he never ever sort of give us any crap about them. He didn't sort of tell anybody else. He kept them to himself, and that's the thing. And I grew to trust him. I grew to learn to fucking love the guy like he was my brother. Yeah, and then when I left Royal Mail, I knew what was going to happen. I knew we would end up losing touch. He said we wouldn't, but I always knew it would happen because I knew I wouldn't be able to keep the thing going because I know what I'm like. I won't be that person that's keeping something going that somebody might just be wanting to let go of. I'm not going to hold on to a relationship where they don't want to spend time with me anymore now. You know what I mean? I'm just not that type. I don't want that. I don't want to be that person that's, clinging on to something that's gone and done and is no longer part of the thing. I just don't want to be that guy, I'd rather just disappear. I've always said to myself, I'm like the littlest hobo. I seem to come into people's lives when the need is, do whatever's needed to help them through that period of time, to teach them something new or help them just discover something or whatever it is, just to be there as somebody to know. And then when I'm no longer needed, I'm thrown out with the trash. I'm gone. I'm out of there. They go on a separate journey. They do their own thing. They go and get on with their lives, and then I'll go back to being me. That's how it is. Another thing that I've always said is I'm like Marmite. Yeah, you'll either like us or you'll dislike us. But I'm not going to change. I am the way I am. I want to be able to be socially better, socially accepted, socially acceptable, but I'm not, and therefore the chances are I'm not gonna be. I would love to join people on some of these live streams and have a chat and stuff like that, but I know for a fact I would be quite quiet because they were going, hey, look, what do you think about this? And if they're not showing a picture that I can see of the freaking character, I'm not going to be able to tell you jack shit because I'm not going to remember what the damn thing fucking looks like. So therefore it's thinking, but I do love watching them and I do love the idea of being able to interact, because when I'm sitting there watching it, I can be interacting with it and going, you're mentioning this, but it's actually, is it not fucking this? Is it not this part of the fucking movie or something? Because something will click with us, and it's something will happen, and I'll go, yeah, I remember that bit. But being socially inept and being the way I am is extremely difficult, guys. It makes it so hard to make friends. To keep friends is impossible. I have people that I know and people that know me, and they'll get in touch with us from time to time, and I'll always be there. I'll always talk to them and I'll always be friendly with them. But if you class that as a friend, well, fair enough. And I've got a few friends. I don't class that as friends because it's not people that I spend any length of time with. I don't speak to them on a regular basis. I barely have anything to do with them, and apart from when they get in touch with me about something. Then other than that, I just don't. I don't bother. It's just really, really difficult being a person that is shy, is socially inept, has difficulty in social encounters, in remembering things, so you have nothing really to talk about with somebody. I don't like the idea of small talk, talking about the weather and fucking shit like that. It's just like, oh, really? You can see the fucking weather for yourself. Why would talking about it? You can see it. It's fucking, it's sunny, or it's fucking raining, or it's whatever. Why would think there's nothing to talk about that type of stuff, So that always makes it extremely difficult for me. Like I say, I've been told that I'm unapproachable. I don't know why. I don't know if it's partly to do with the size I am, the way I look. Do I look angry all the time? Do I just look like a grumpy old man? I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But I have had that said to us on many of occasions, and when I have started speaking with the again, you're just totally different to what I expected. You're so friggin' friendly compared to what I expected you to be. Like it's like chalk and cheese. And then again, I've had a lot of other ones that have sort of been friendly with saying, you can be hard work because you don't tend to you don't easily keep a conversation going. You tend to sort of sit back and let other people talk and only get involved now and again. That's the way I was brought up. I was brought up to only say something if you've got something to say. Yeah, but I also think that to do your best to only say something if you've got something nice to say. Don't shit on people's parades. Don't bring people down. Don't be nasty. Don't be fucking thingy. There's enough crap in the world without you being that way. I know that I could make videos and probably spout off a whole load of freaking bollocks about different stuff, and I would probably get quite a few views. It would probably take off, if I could be an angry type person, but it's not me, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to bring things down. There is certain things that do piss me off, and I could quite easily start talking about those types of stuff. You've got the new freaking Battlefield game. It's fucking terrible. I've played every iteration of Battlefield Gun, and this is the fucking worst one I've ever seen. And I could get into slashing and mashing that thing to bits and probably get quite a number of views. But I think it's why somebody's put effort into making it. It's just not my cup of fucking tea. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of people's cup of tea, to be perfectly honest with you, but it's not my cup of tea this time round, which is a shame because I fucking love the Battlefield franchise. I always have. Just like a figure. I could probably bash on certain freaking figures and really sort of go to town on them and get lots of views that way. But it's like, well, why? Somebody spent time making that thing. It's just not for me. Maybe I'm not keen on it for whatever reason. I'm not keen on it, but I don't want to bash on somebody's hard work. No matter how much I might think something's crap, you know what I mean? It's the way it is. If you don't like it, you don't buy it. Fucking simple as that. If you don't like it, don't buy it. But to be somebody that wants to be liked, but knows that I'm either going to be liked or I'm not going to be liked, and that's the way it is, and that's the way it's always going to be. And I'm not going to be a big part of any social group because I'm just not that way inclined. I'd like to have friends and be friendly with people, but there's a lot of times that because of me because of the way I am, I also like to be alone a lot. I'll never mind chatting with anybody at any time over anything. As long as I'm interested in that thing, then I'll chat about it, and I'll do the best to chat about things. I've never been into comics as such. I've never collected comics. I'm not American. In America, it's a lot easier to get these things. There's probably comic book stores all over the place in America. There ain't many over here in the UK. It's just like collecting 1/6 figures is difficult in the UK compared to what it is in America. In America, you've got Sideshow if you want to get them from there. They've got all sorts of things that Sideshow give out their figures to. Or sell their figures onto, which they can pick them up. They can pick them up with friggin' their local comic book shop if they're willing to pay the price there. And they won't get hit as hard as what it will be to friggin' get it shipped from America across to here and then get hit by the bloody income tax that will go on top of it again. It just makes it impossible. So I have to look at getting them from Hong Kong, which again, you get hit by a high price to get them into the country. Normally they'll put them down as a low value in order so that you don't pay an income tax on them, which is fantastic news, those that do that. Or I've got to get them off eBay. So because the odd place that might sell something like this, which I think there's only really one of them that I know of in the UK, but their markup value on what they would think, because they're probably getting them from Sideshow themselves, so their markup value knocks them to like almost twice what I would pay to get them from friggin' Hong Kong direct. So that makes it pointless, and I'm getting off tilt because I was supposed to be talking about the friggin' being socially inept and how difficult it can be and how hard it is, guys. Some of you won't understand it, won't be able to comprehend any of this thing. It is extremely difficult to be somebody that is socially inept. that has trouble understanding that almost the need or the want to be socially acceptable, to be thingy. Everything I've ever done, even including jobs wise, has been almost spent most of my time on my own. Okay, so me sort of, I studied martial arts for a while. That was pretty much done in a big group, but you were still on your own because you weren't socializing with them. You were learning how to do the martial arts, and then in practicing it. I went into bodybuilding. It can be done on your own. I went into photography and I started doing a lot of photography. Again, something you can do on your bloody own. I got into the post office. Now, when I first started the post office, you would go out on your own. You'd have your own round. You'd have your own thing to box in. Therefore, you'd be on your own doing that. There'd be people around you chatting away to each other, but I would be basically concentrating on what I was doing, banging in my stuff so I could get out that door and get the job done. And when you're out on the streets, you are on your own. That's changed over the last fucking 10 years or so, but that's how it used to be, and that's I enjoyed that. But I also did enjoy working with the one guy. I'm glad I got on so great with him. Nooney was like, he became like my best friend at that particular time point. You know what I mean? And I love the guy to bits. I always will. I'll always be there for him. If he ever wanted to get in touch with us, I would always, you know, be there as a good mate for him if that's what he ever wanted. You know what I mean? I would always do that because I love the guy to bits. He was fantastic. And we got on great. But like I say, I won't get in touch with him because he may now have moved on with his life. He may now no longer want to be in touch with us, especially now that he knows that I'm not going to die. I am going to be here for a while longer, hopefully. Touch wood. So therefore, I won't get in touch with him. I won't bother him. You know, that's just the way I am. You know, I don't. I sort of never really bother anybody. You know, that's the way I go and that's the way I am. I don't know how to be any other way because, like I say, I don't want to be that person where you're pulling a face, kind of, God, I'm on the tired of this fucker again. I don't want that. I never would want that. You know what I mean? And it's sort of, there's a lot of things tie in together to make me such a socially inept person. You know, the shyness, the fact that I'm a loner, the fact that I just have trouble with understanding emotions. And thingy, it's not like I can't comprehend what an emotion is, and I can't comprehend why you would have that emotion. I just don't really do them because I don't see the friggin' point in them. You know, it's one of those weird ass things. It's when I found out I had cancer, I didn't cry. I didn't think it was like, well, crying's not gonna change it. So what's the point in wasting my time crying over it? It's not going to make it go away, so therefore why waste my time doing it? I might as well just fucking focus on getting on with whatever I need to do to get either better or to just live on until I can't live on anymore. There's no point in fucking whinging, crying or thinking. It just doesn't say that I don't get any sort of emotions, because I do. You know, I can feel lonely like anybody else can. I just don't understand it fully, and that's what makes it harder. Is that I don't understand it. I don't understand why I'm feeling like what it is about it that makes me. I can feel low. I can feel depressed. I tend not to live there for too long. As you know, I'll tend to try and sort of bring myself out of it as quickly as possible because I don't want to stay in that zone. It is difficult when you are the type of person that's a loner, but you also still want to be socially active and socially involved and be able to talk with people and have a laugh with people and stuff like that. But yeah, it's difficult because you don't have the ability to think jokes and to joke on. You don't have the ability to remember any stuff from movies and shit like that. You don't have the ability to remember stuff that you've watched on television. I don't watch the news, so I've got no way of talking about the things that's going on in the news. I don't remember any of the MMS names for any of the figures or what they friggin' look like or which one movie they come from or stuff like that. A lot of times I don't remember any of that stuff, so I can't get involved in any of that stuff. I can take pictures of me stuff and put them up in things like that, but I can't remember like exactly what what scene they might be out of, or what thingy they're out of, or which film they're out of, or whatever. So therefore, I find it difficult to interact with. I want to interact with people. That's what makes things so difficult. Being an introvert and being shy at the same time, we're also having trouble trusting in people that they won't abuse you. When you, like I say, you got to remember that. Like I say, when I was growing up, I grew up being sort of picked on, bullied, and hit, and people wanting to prove how macho they were, and that went on for throughout pretty much my entire friggin' life when I was younger, until I got to the point where I'd had enough, and I went to town on somebody. You know what I mean? And then I was left alone. I think they realised, okay, he's fucking had enough now. I think we better not fucking push this guy anymore, because I think he'll crack and he'll think he'll. Yeah, so all those things combined together make for a very, very uninteresting way to live, make for an uninteresting style of life. I don't go anywhere or do anything that's socially interesting, because I go to the gym, I work out, I go to work, I work hard, I come friggin' home, I sit in the man cave and watch likes of friggin' Justin, Jeddah, Lale, any of these new guys that have just started popping up on a lot of their friggin' streams. And that's it. That's my life. That's what I do. I don't go out places. I don't go to Comic Cons, because Comic Cons are on a weekend and I work weekends, so I can't get any of the local Comic Cons even when they're on, because I'm always at work. I don't do anything that would be of a great interest to anybody else. And how many people do I know that in the Northeast that collect 1/6 scale figures, that I could have a chat with, that I could meet up with and have a fucking thingy and show them my collection and see their collection? And do you think that? I don't know of anybody. And I don't know of that many in the UK, full stop, but certainly not in the Northeast and that. So it's like, right, I'm just, again, it's just a case of keep myself to myself, get on with my life. It makes it very difficult at times when you want to be a little bit socially active and be liked the same as everybody else likes to be liked, but then you've also got this thing you've been, well, fuck it. Fuck it. So it's so hard, guys, and I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that somebody else out there might be able to relate to some of this and realise you're not alone. And that maybe if I get somebody saying, hey, fuck me, your thing, you rang a bell to me, it's incredible that I felt a lot like that for a lot of different things, because at least then I'll know that I'm not alone, that I'm not fucking this freak of nature that just is weird, that does a lot of shit alone, that is socially, totally, pretty much socially inept, but wants to be liked, wants to be socially active in a way and thingy, but also needs to be alone to allow things to process, to think, I don't want to get too close to too many people, because I will be frightened that they would just abuse that shit, because of us being such a friendly guy that wants to please and wants to freaking help and wants to think, and that's, oh god, it just makes things so fucking, so weird, so hard. To want to socialise but not being able to socialise, then to not want to socialise because you don't trust in anything. You see, it's not like I don't see some of the crap that goes on there. I just choose to ignore it and get on with my own thing, because I would prefer to live a life of being as positive as I can, even though there's a lot of negatives around us at times, to not look at those negatives when I do see them, to try and ignore them, so that I can concentrate on looking for the positives again. that's the way I feel it needs to be, and that's the way I feel I need to try and be. So anyway, guys, look, thanks if anybody watched this all the way through, because it has been a weird video that I've went off in little tangents, which is often what I will do when I'm making a video, especially because there's so many videos I'd like to make, and I'll come up with a great idea when I'm in bed on a night time, and by the time I wake up the next day, they're fucking gone and I can't remember them, or I'll be watching friggin' one of the live streams and I'll go, oh, that'd be a good idea, I could maybe talk about that, or I could do something on that, and then by the time the live stream's finished, you know, after an hour and a half to 2 hours, I'm forgetting all about it again, you know, and it's just like, yeah. Or I'll say some of these things and I'll go, oh, they're making videos on this, maybe I should tell people what I think about this type of thing, and then just going, nah, because nobody's going to be interested, nobody's going to give a shit what I think, you know what I mean. I don't have the viewership, I don't have the thingies, and I would just be making another video to basically for myself. And like a lot of these videos, like I say, when I started off doing some of these videos, especially the cancer ones, I've done them as a thing that hopefully somebody would see them and it would help them, you know, get through something. But I also did them so that my kids would have something to look back on when I was gone. Yeah, so a lot of these videos are still going to be something that hopefully, when I eventually do pass on and disappear and go for good, that my kids or my grandkids or whatever has something that they can look back on, and again, you know, there's your granddad, that's what your granddad was like, you know, or yeah, that was my dad, Christ, you know, I remember him being like that, you know. So anyway, guys, I think I've waffled on for long enough. I doubt anyone's going to watch this all the way through. Those that do, hey, you are fucking unbelievable. Believe you and me, you are fucking unbelievable if you're getting all the way through this and stuck with us. I appreciate that so fucking much. If you did, please feel free to put a comment on to say you managed to make it all the way through, because I would be delighted to find out if anyone fucking bothers their arse to watch this right the way through. And if anyone, it resonates with anybody, that's even better again, because at least then I'm proving that I'm not alone and you're not alone, that there is other people out there that do feel this way. And if these videos help anybody at all, and please comment, let us know, and tell us something else you might want us to talk about along similar type of lines, and I will do my best to make a video on it if I can, you know. But anyway, time for me to get the hell on out of here and go and watch maybe another live stream. So that's me done, guys. I will catch you in anyone that watches the next one. Again, you're a fucking saint if you watch another one of these things, guys. You really are. Thank you so much. I honestly 100% appreciate any views I get. I 100% appreciate any comments I get. Anybody puts a thumbs up on this thing, fucking that is unreal. Yous are the main people. Yous are what I do this for, and I do it for my family. Thank you so much. Yous mean the world to me in that respect. Now, I'm out of here, guys.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.
Thank you?
You're welcome.
What? No. I didn't. I wasn't. Why would I ever say that? I mean,
Okay.